Today I'm back in the Sligo mountains, a place I used to tramp through years ago. This time I'm wild camping in a secluded valley tucked beneath Kings Mountain, which is on the northern edge of the Dartry range. I've brought along my Osprey Aether, it's still my go-to for wild camping, and I'm using the Helm 2 again, a great little tent for these milder conditions. I'm relying on map and compass for navigation, and as you'll see, that really came into its own. Day 1 was clear, but day 2 threw up some interesting challenges. I'm also putting the RAB Ascent 700 sleeping bag to the test. After a cold winter of restless nights, I want to know if this bag finally does the job, or if I should have gone for the 900. And I've made a few upgrades to the audio setup with the DJI mic, plus an expensive lesson in how not to wear it when hiking. So off on another wild camp, but today I'm in sunny Sligo, and it is sunny. And we're heading up to Bulben. Well, we're really heading up to Kings Mountain, but I might detour towards Bulben. It depends if I have enough time, starting off in the afternoon. So I've just parked up at Luke's Bridge, which is to the north of Bulben. It's actually part of the Dartry mountain range. Into a steep enough climb already, but it's going to get very steep before we get out onto the plateau. And it is a large plateau up on top of Bulben and across to Trustmore. You look up and you think it's a narrow ridgeline, but it's not. It's a very large plateau. They're one of the biggest in Ireland, I believe. So you can see the cut there, the saddle in the distance. Well, that's where we're going to be heading up to today. What a beautiful day and a beautiful mountain range to be going up. There are a few people here today. Normally, if I was out in Leitrim, there'd be no one, but this is a very popular spot. Part of the hike is very straightforward. I've got a bearing, but I don't actually need to follow it because I can see exactly where I'm going. But I did think I'd try and time it just to check my pace. So going up here, it should be 50 minutes, taking into account the distance and the elevation, and it's very steep elevation here as well. I want to get over to Kings Mountain for a camp tonight, so I am leaving it later than I'd intended, but life got in the way, and so I might have to cut the walk a little bit shorter, but no harm. The idea is to come up and get a feel for the mountain again. I'm used to it. I was here years ago on day hikes, and it's a fantastic place. In fact, I'd actually forgotten how beautiful it was and how much of a great place to walk. It'll be boggy and it'll be heathery, but hopefully it won't be as boggy and heathery as what I have been used to in the hikes over Leitrim Cavern. But that remains to be seen. I can't quite remember. It is still winter. There's plenty of water around, and it must have been about 10 years since I've been here. I do remember it being tough walking at the time. Well, I just had a chat to a couple of ladies on the way down, covered in mud, and I did ask them what the path up here was like, and they said don't take the path I was going for. So that's very treacherous, very wet, very muddy. They said actually to go to the stream and try and go to the right hand side. So the path on the left there, which I pointed out, well, they said don't do that, and they looked in a bit of a mess there, so I don't think I will. So I will try and head to the right of the stream. Thanks for your advice. He said as well to avoid that path and go up by the stream. He didn't look mucky at all, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. He's going to take a look at the video and hopefully he'll see himself on it. So the path was going to be up there, but too boggy, and that other chap told me just go up the left hand side of the stream and it should be fine. So that's what I'm going to do. To get in the swing of this here now, but easy to get in the swing of it when it's flat ground. It'll be a different thing when I start climbing up there, I know that. My God, this is impressive. I'll get to the base and I'll just take a layer off because it's going to get energetic. But I'm loving it. It's fantastic. I mean, just driving here and remembering what I used to almost take for granted because I was out almost every weekend hiking was just wow. I mean, I loved going up Leitrim and camping out, but there's something about these mountains that's very special. I do have a video where a few friends and myself did the horseshoe by Dermot and Gronya's cave. It's one of my early videos, and it was more friends going out, but I must repeat that and do a camp. Look at this, beautiful. Well, making reasonable progress, but it's tough climbing. All you got to do is do a sprint, and then just rest, catch your breath, and then off again. But there's a saddle. Fair bit more to go, but beautiful, beautiful day. Wow, I hadn't turned around to see what was behind me. It's always a good idea. That is absolutely gorgeous. Oh well, I'm so lucky with the weather today. Went towards the end of February and it could have been anything happening here today. I think tomorrow isn't quite as good, but it's not too bad. But I've looked in. This is great. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, I love it. There was a time I would not be seen using a set of hiking poles. I just thought they were for old men and women. Well, okay. I know what you're saying. I'm an old man there myself now, but they would have been great even when I was a younger fella. But coming up here, it makes everything so easy, especially with a heavy backpack. It's pretty full again. It's weighing plenty, and these really stabilise you. I'm sure there'll be times there where I would have slipped over or stumbled. Touch wood, not one stumbled yet. There's plenty of time for that though. A few more meters until it starts leveling off, and then we'll stop, we'll check the timing, we'll adjust the plan depending on how the timing went on that stretch. So that's the spot height. I think it's about 562. Ben Bulben is in the distance. Bingullion is the Irish name. I may not have pronounced that correct, or it translates as beak or peak. There's a trig point up at Ben Bulben, and you think once you're there, oh, that's it. But actually, if you study the map, there's a good way to go before you get along to the peak and look over Sligo and Mullaghmore. It's flattening out nicely. I think this would just be about right. I had planned to go to Ben Bulben, but things got in the way and I started off much later, so I'm going to change my plan completely. And so that's where I'm aiming for. I'm parked down here at Luke's Bridge. I found a path, but it's very steep. As you can see, the contour lines are very close together, and I'm at this point at the moment. Now, I got here in 48 minutes. I said 50 at 3 kilometres an hour, so that's pretty good going. So I'll stick to 3 kilometres an hour. Now, I'm aiming for King's Mountain. I'm just here. I was going to head to that spot height and then on to Ben Bulben. It's too late here now, so I'm going to change my plans. I'm going from this point here to spot height 459. I line my compass up from where I am at the moment to where I want to go. That's 13. Each one of these lines represents 50 metres. So 13 times 50 is 650 metres. Now 650, 500 is 10, 100 is 2, so that's 12, and another 50 is 13. 13 minutes,
There's also a rise of approximately 2 contours. It's pretty flat. It's rough enough ground, but there's one, and then to the spot height, I'm going to count that as another one. So there's 2. So that's 15 minutes in total. I've lined my compass up. Make sure that the inner lines on the compass are pointing north to south and are parallel to the north-south grid lines. So that's a bearing of 240 degrees. And I can see I'm aiming for that lump on the horizon. There's the Corcoran Mountains in the distance. There's a big valley in between, and it's over by Glencar Waterfall. Yeah, the usual, very boggy, very wet, but it's much easier going than the last walk I was on, for now anyway. I hope it carries on this way. It's very pleasant. It's fairly easy to navigate. There's a big ravine in front of us there, leading to the side of King's Mountain. So when I do check on the map, I should see a stream shown going down that direction. What a glorious evening, or I should say glorious late afternoon. Fantastic to be out. And I was excited to come out on this camp today because I took delivery of a new sleeping bag. On my last outing, my last video, it was pretty cold. And in one of them, I'd even forgotten my Big Agnes Repeat sleeping pad. So that didn't help. So I tried different methods to supplement the sleeping bag that I had, which is a 3-season sleeping bag, so I shouldn't really have expected it to have done the job in winter. Down booties, down trousers, wearing my down jacket, Thermalite Extreme sleeping bag liner, and they all helped, and it wasn't too bad. Oh yes, and the Z mat as well. And at one stage I got my emergency foil blanket out. It all helped me decide that I needed a new sleeping bag for the winter months anyway. So I got myself a RAB Ascent 700. Did a lot of research. I thought I'd get the 900, realised, well, that's too big, too bulky. They were selling an 800 as well, but I was advised for this sort of climate, the 700 with a little bit more layering would work just fine. So we'll see if that advice was correct, because I'd like to stop bringing thermals with me. It's all adding weight. The 700 packed up pretty good. I used the compression bag from my Decathlon MT900. Now, of course, I couldn't squeeze it up as much as that, and I wouldn't want it to. If I could, I would have suspected that it wasn't going to do the job, but I did get it in. And so the size isn't too bad. I'll show you when we stop. So I'm really hoping tonight that it does the trick. So I was super keen to get out and try it. Okay, just about 11 minutes to this point. The spot height I'm aiming for will be on that horizon there. So I'll just do another bearing check, put the needle in the dock and bring the compass up. I'll pause my watch just at the moment. We can see the edge of Ben Bulben. So let's come into the peak of it and out to the Atlantic, Sligo Bay. Wow, what a view. Just checked my watch, 17 minutes. So not bad. I'll take that. Actually, I did that trip twice. Well, actually 3 times, because I dropped my new DJI mic. I had it on the little magnetic piece attached to my clothing, and it's got knocked off somewhere. So it was a forlorn hope. I went back the same way as I came, followed my footsteps as best I could, because I couldn't trace them all the way back. In the bog it was all right, but on the grass it wasn't. In a forlorn hope to try and find it, but it's only a little microphone. There was no way, but I had to anyway because they're expensive. What an idiot. So when you're actually on these sort of trips, what I've learnt is don't use the little magnetic piece. So I've got the second mic out now. Thankfully I've got one.
and I've got it attached to the strap with the mechanical clip. So, whoa, this is great as well. Look at this. In the far distance, Cochrane's, and the tower is at the top of Trustmore. Okay, that looks near, but it's not, it's a long way. Okay, so I can actually see King's Mountain very clearly, but let's just take a look at it on the map and see what sort of timing we're going to achieve. Okay, so this is a good lesson. I went 17 minutes, I said 16, and what I find is that I'm a bit further along. So where I see 4, 5, 9, that was the point I was aiming for, coming from this direction to there. I've gone a little bit too far, and that would actually make sense with the minute and a half. So what I did was I looked at King's Mountain, I lined it up, I moved the dial until the needle was in the dock, and that's my bearing I need to take. Now that I know that, what I do is I get the compass and I line it up on King's Mountain. So 492, I line that up, edge of that on King's Mountain, and I move the compass until the lines in the centre of the housing here are parallel with the map and pointing north, and this is north here. So actually now I can see that I'm just at that point there. Now I can take another bearing. I won't do it now because time's going on, for another distant point that I can see, and I'd be able to draw a line here and a line from another distant point, and I get exactly where I am. But I can actually see in the distance King's Mountain very easily. I know that I've just gone over this point, and it's very flat here, big area of flatness, so it was easy to mistake it. If I look around, very flat. So if I'd stopped at 16 minutes, I'd have actually been more on the nose than letting it go for 17. Top of King's Mountain to where I am now, that's 5, 6, 7. 7 times 50 is 350 metres. So 350 at 3 kilometres an hour is only 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Quite a steep climb, as we can see, so it's not going to be 7 minutes. It might be 7 minutes if it was totally flat. So we're saying that's about 13 to 15 minutes. When I'm at the base of King's Mountain, it's only taken me 5 minutes to get here. It'll actually look further away than it was, and about, I'd say, another 7 minutes up there. It's not as bad as it looked from a distance, so the timing would have been right. But I'm not going to go up there just yet. I need to get some water. There is a river or a stream marked on the map down there, so I'm just going to pop over that side of things first and see if I can get a bit of water. I remember it from years ago as being pretty dry on this side of the mountain. So I'm hoping that there's a stream running, but I'm not convinced. Looks a bit dry. Ah yes, I can see water down there, so that'll do me. And the thing is, once I've picked it up, I've got to climb all the way back up here again. I should have picked up a bit earlier. Never mind. It is pretty dry, but there is a bit further down, there's water, so I'll be able to pop down and fill up there. So that's great. It's lovely and calm, totally sheltered here, and I found a reasonable spot. So that's flat enough. It's the flattest I'm going to get in this sort of environment. There's King's Mountain. I've come down from just the base of it, and I'm not going back up. Well, I'm not going to go back up this evening because the sun is going down. I want to get myself settled. I think if I got to the top of that, I'd probably struggle to find a pitch. I think it's pretty rocky up there. But I'm going to go up in the morning and we'll take a look, and hopefully the weather will be good like this morning or good like today, and we'll get some great panoramic shots. It's not supposed to be as good. It's supposed to be cloudy, so you never know. But this is fantastic. Listen to that. Absolutely nothing. It is brilliant, and now not a soul in sight, and I don't expect to see anyone. If I do see anyone coming down here, I'm going to get a mighty shock, but I very much doubt it. But yeah, so that's King's Mountain. This stream runs down
into the valley, and below that would be Glencar over in that direction. Well, I've decided to move to a slightly flatter spot. It is next to the stream bed, but unless it poured down torrentially, unless it poured down tonight, I'll be fine. All nicely pitched. Great little spot. So calm here tonight. That's the stream. We don't want that flooding. I think I'd be safe anyway. Lovely job. Just head down the stream a bit. Say stream, there's nothing in it, but the stream bed, because there is some water further down. That looks clear, looks very clear. So I've got the platypus water filter. Found this, I've only used it a couple of times. And, well actually once, I've only used it once so far. But I found it very good. No complaints. Very easy to use. God, it's crystal clear. It's brilliant. Well, there's no problem with that water. I mean, of course, there could be sheep droppings or whatever, or dead sheep further up, but that's looking very clean anyway. I think that's probably all I'll need, but as I'm here and as it's so easy, I'll just grab one and store it for the night. This is brilliant. Oh, great pitch. So quiet, so still. This is easily the most sheltered pitch I've had to date. So let's hope the wind doesn't pick up and decides to come in this direction, because it would be funneled up this valley, but it's not due to. Well, here it is, my new sleeping bag. It's the RAB Ascent 700, and look at that, that's not bad. Now that's in the Decathlon bag. Normally the Decathlon bag, I'd actually get this cinched up and it'd be about there. That's actually a very reasonable size. So we're just going to puff it up now, and fingers crossed that it's going to do the business tonight. As the sun's going down, it's been a lovely day, but there's a clear blue sky above me and it's starting to get chilly. So actually it should be a good test. It takes a bit of effort to get it into this bag, but once it's in, it's great. And I didn't notice a massive weight increase in my rucksack either. There he is, nice colour as well. I've got the long. I was advised differently by two different people, both of them in the business. But in Cotswolds they said get the long, because I'm 6 foot. The regular one did go up to 6 foot, but they said you might be a little bit tight. I was a bit concerned that it might be too long there, but I can always stuff something in the bottom if need be. But better too long than too short, I thought. So we'll give this one a go. We'll
shake, puff it all, because it's been squashed down all night.
Yeah, it looks good. We will see.
So I have the Flextail pump again. I struggled with it last time. It didn't blow it up as well as I'd hoped it would. Yeah, so there we go. Great job. Worked well this time. Yeah, there's an adapter that comes with it. I actually don't think it's for this, but just put that in. It closed the hole down a bit, and it was able to do it well. So nicely settling in. It's getting dark outside. I've got my big Agnes all pumped up, and I have my RAB 700 just all loft in there now. I'm really putting a lot of faith in RAB. I hope I have a good night's sleep. Now, time to do some cooking. So my wife has put the food together. Knowing her, she's very efficient with it. So what have we got here? Ah, steak. I know it's steak because she's labelled it as steak. That's great. Oh, croissant, chocolate croissant, lovely. Nice rafters. Oh, sausages, well that's the mornings. And I have a soup and coffee. A cappuccino. I fancy a soup, to be quite honest. I'll do that first. I'll use the water that I found, water that came from the stream, and I'll keep the water in my bladder that I took from the house. So I'll boil up the water that I took from the stream and keep the rest for walking back. So that can go till the morning. What else have we got? Yeah, it can't be right. Well, no steak is right without some noodles. It's noodle time. People are taking the mickey out of me because of my noodles, but I don't care. These are a different sort. These are a buldak. Never heard of that, but apparently they're very spicy. So I was warned not to put the very spicy packet in. Well, it's a big packet there, so I'll have some this evening with the steak, and some with the sausages in the morning. So you just can't get enough noodles. Let's get the stove on here now. So I'm getting my clothes off and getting into some down gear. Got 2 pairs of socks. I got rid of I took off the ones I've been walking in. And I've got my Sundick Chinese boots. Yeah, Sundick. Strange names these Chinese think of. Don't know why they thought that's a good name for selling it into European market. Great little frying pan this. Fire maple. Working well. Started scratching it a bit with the knife, so I brought along a tin foil plate. So I think the plan of action will be get some noodles going first, keep to one side, and then fry the steak. And hopefully the noodles will be warm enough still. You can't beat noodles anyway. They're fine if they're cold. And my son said don't put the very hot sauce on it. The trouble is I don't know which is it. I'm going to assume it's this, the smaller red one. Yeah. Well, I hope it's a good assumption. Right, time to get the steak on. Lovely that. Lovely ribeye steak. Oh, it sounds lovely. God, it smells great. Some nice mushrooms and courgettes. Lovely. This is a real treat. Just what you need after a long day's hiking anyway, that's for sure. And to cheer you up after losing your brand new DJI mic. Oh God, I don't know if I'll sleep properly tonight thinking about that. It's about €90 down the drain. It's my own fault. Should have clipped it on properly. This smells brilliant. I don't know, there's something about cooking when you're actually outside and you're doing it for yourself. Yeah, it was a great hike today. It was great to be back in Sligo, up the Bulben range. It's the Dartry range of mountains. Apparently there's 3 layers in it. The top layer is limestone and it's filled with fossils. And there's a Barytes mine a few miles towards Trustmore from here. Right, I've just given the noodles a little warm up. They're all ready and the steak is looking great. I decided if I put it on the plate, it'll probably cool the steak down too much, so I'll just use the wooden knife and fork and cut it in this. See what it's like. Oh, fantastic. And the mushrooms and the courgettes are great. It's starting to get really cold now. Batteries are starting to complain as well. So that's when you know it's getting cold. Totally clear sky and temperatures dropping. Rachel's Divine Rice. Great. I do like this tent. It's the Helm 2. It served me well. But I have ordered a Kuyu Stormstar 2. I just felt I needed something for the winter months. But at times it's really cold. And when the wind's up, this tent flaps an awful lot. And that's what keeps me awake. But there's no flapping tonight because there isn't a breath of air. Not here in this gully anyway. So that's me now, all tucked up in my RAB sleeping bag. It's feeling quite warm already, to be honest. I'll let you know in the morning. It's just about 6 o'clock and had a great night's sleep. Fantastic. So the sleeping bag has done the trick. I had down gear on underneath and during the middle of the night I was so hot I had to take it off. Yeah, great. Verdict on this RAB 700 was it was brilliant. Now I suppose in the winter a 900 would be even cosier. But I balanced it between getting a very large, heavy bag that would take up a lot of space with one that I could actually use into spring and maybe the summer in Ireland. So I think that's going to work. Just about ready, I think. It's fantastic to have a cooked breakfast when you're out camping. This is lovely. Right, so I'll eat this and start getting myself together. It's still very misty out, so there's no great rush. And if this mist continues, then there'll actually be no point in going up to King Mountain. I won't be able to see anything. Just take a wee look at that. King's Mountain is in that direction. Yeah, I'm very happy how the RAB 700 Ascent there compresses down. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than this, but it is obviously heavier. I'm glad it went for the 700. I think it'd be more versatile for the season, especially with it coming up to spring soon enough. But yeah, really pleased. Let's get this away in the bag. So King's Mountain would be there if it was bright enough to see it. But I'm going to just be following this stream bed up here for quite a distance, just keep heading more or less north. It's a lovely fresh morning, so let's get this tent down and let's get packed away and on my way back. That's me packed up, all ready to go. Just do the usual check. I've left nothing behind. That's a great little pitch. Really pleased with that and so sheltered. So I felt like keeping my wet weather jacket on because it's a bit chilly at the moment. But as usual, let's start cold because I'll soon warm up. So I'm going to set my stopwatch now. It should be 20 minutes to the point of the saddle that I'm aiming for. Just got to watch these rocks this morning. They're going to be slippy. I'll try and avoid them where I can. This is lovely this morning. So quiet and peaceful. Just a breath of wind, nothing much. Small, slight breeze. But then again, I am in a very tight valley. Out in the open, it might be different. So at the height of winter, when it was really raining hard, this would be full of water. It's so carved out. Sides are starting to get a bit shallower. Might be out of this soon. Well, that's the end of it. Well, this is the start of the stream. I'm going to have to go back a wee bit and just climb up the sides and then get onto the compass navigation. It's 12 degrees just off north, so if I put the magnetic needle in the housing and find a spot to walk to, and I'll be doing multiple spots because as you can see, the mist is down. It's great to practice in the fine weather, just to get confidence, and this is where it's really needed. The needle goes in the housing, bring the compass up, it's directly in front of me. I'm going to be doing this multiple times because that's not very far, so as soon as I get there I'm going to be doing this again and then again and then again. I won't show all of those, but I'll show a couple of them. I was aiming for a mound that I thought was still in line with my bearing of 12 degrees, and it wasn't, it was off. So let's do it properly and let's look at the compass and pick the next spot. To as far as I can see, and that's not very far. As you can see with the weather around me, it's going to be constantly working like that. Just making sure that I just stay on track and I don't veer off. Because veering off just by a few degrees in a few minutes, you can actually be laterally quite a distance away from where you're expecting to be. And in this sort of weather, well, you could get lost very quickly. But I'm not going to get lost, because if I just kept going north, I'm going to reach the edge of the north side of the Bulben range. So that's my catching feature. This is actually great weather to be out on the hills. It's lovely, fresh, gets the heart going, and it's great practice from navigation's point of view. So I'm at my next point, my next marker, take another look at a compass. But as you can see around me, this is two completely different mountains from yesterday when it's bright and sunny and you have loads of confidence in where you're going. All there is at the moment is just bog and the reliance on your own skill. Also, I've noticed someone's dropped something, but I'm not going to leave it there. Just fallen out of someone's pack. Obviously an accident from some hikers. I've dropped stuff myself. So that's going to go into my pack. I'm going to put it in the bin when I get down. That's 17.5 minutes just checking on my watch. So a minute over what I was expecting, but I think I'm coming to a flatter area, and if not, the ridge itself. Yeah. I can see the ground starting to steepen off, short, just a bit ahead of me here. So I'm expecting I'm at the point that I came up on. If the mist wasn't down, that'd look fantastic. Rising up there towards the area of Eagles Rock, Dermot and Granya's Cave, and up to Trustmore behind me. But we can't see that today. But we're seeing lovely bog formations here, which is lovely. So I can see an outline to my left, and that'll be leading up to spot height 562, and on my right, say the land's rising, and in the middle, that's looking like the valley I need to take. I've just come over the saddle behind me, and I'm at the stream that's starting the descent down towards Luke's Bridge. I'll be putting the camera away for a while and just using my poles because it's very steep down here. I won't be following the track. There's the track. It was very muddy, so I'll just follow the stream. God, it's lovely to be out in the morning. I mean, you wake up in your tent, you just laze around, relax, no one bothering you. You fry up a few sausages, and eventually you just get your gear together and head off back. And look at this scenery. Still a reasonable amount of distance to go. I say I'll be putting the GoPro away and I'll stop and take a few shots every now and again, but I really do need my hands on my poles going down to make sure I'm safe. We've got a good shot there of Mullet Moor in the far distance. You can just make out the castle. Well, you can really make out the castle. It sticks up quite a lot. I'm going to have to do something about that. And these, yeah, can't leave them there. It's not as if they're heavy, they're light. I'll shove them in the back of my bag and dispose of them appropriately. So many people come up and down here. If everyone just took one thing away with them, it'd be pristine. Well, what tremendous scenery. It just lifts your spirits. Good bit of practice there at the navigation. It was easy, but it was good to have a good day yesterday and not so good weather this morning. But it's all good weather. No such thing as bad weather really, just bad clothing. So that's the end of another hike. And if you've enjoyed this, just hit the like or subscribe. That just helps, as you know. All the best.